He survived the madness, and now he's a national champion. Florida Gator guard Walter Clayton Jr. joins us now on First Take. Welcome. Congratulations. What happened to Houston in the final possession? How did you guys pull this off? Everyone is still talking about what you guys did, lockdown defense, those final possessions. As you have played it out in your head, where you're up to and they can't get a shot off. Walk us through what happened.
Yeah, man. In the huddle, we talked about them either getting something from Cryer or Robert, so that was kind of our focus, just those two players. So they ran a pistol action over there on the side. We ended up switching. I think they wanted to get the ball lower in there into that corner, to kind of run a fire action, coming out that backside. So we kind of locked that up. Then I was down on the baseline with Sharp. He kind of slipped the back screen instead of setting it. They tried to look like an elevator on film possibly, but, just got through there, got the contest, and national champions.
We've been watching the highlights all morning long and seeing that final sequence play out and what happened. Like, you go and celebrate with your team immediately, but you see Emmanuel Sharp down in quite possibly like the worst moment of his basketball life, and you went up to him, and there's this viral moment of sportsmanship that was shown. Like, what do you say to somebody in that moment when you're celebrating the highest of high for yourself, but also consoling somebody who's really going through it?
Yeah, we grew up about an hour away from each other, so I know him a little bit on a personal level. And, honestly, there isn't much to say, but win, lose, or draw, I try to shake the opponent's hand, just kind of told him just love, keep his head up, because it's just a blessing for us to be on that stage and that opportunity in the first place.
So now we have to rank Florida football versus basketball and in comparison to everybody else. So let's do this. Florida, University of Florida, is it a football school or a basketball school?
Everything in school.
No, that's a cop-out answer. Is it a football school or a basketball school?
That ain't no cop. We're everything in school, man. You look at it, we got 3 national titles, football, basketball. We got some baseball, national championships. So, man, it's everything in school. I believe that.
So is it now the best football-basketball combo school in America?
I believe so. I believe it always has been.
All right, so you played for Rick Pitino at Iona. You guys both leave. You go to Florida. He ends up going to St. John's. Why did you not follow him to St. John's?
There was some family, some family connections as far as coming home. And, obviously it was a new staff at Florida, so gave him a chance. Went down there, was a great visit, found out I had a daughter on the way. So that was kind of a big part of the decision. It was really tough, picking between basically 2 families, the family I built up here and my family back home. But ultimately I decided to go back to Florida.
Good choice.
Yes, ma'am.
Won a national
for sure.
championship out of it.
That obviously makes you grow up real quickly, being a father. How did that change you relative to on-court and off-court, relative to maturity?
Yeah, for sure. Like my mom would say, man, I think me and my daughter are still growing, maturing together. This is going to be like that for these few years. But, man, it's just great. I think it helped me with just my daily routine, just being more locked in and more focused.
So you've heard the Steph Curry comparison for the entire NCAA tournament. Jay Will, who has put you in the category of Steph Curry mixed with Damian Lillard. There's a quote right here. I'm going to read it. The run this guy's on, the shots he makes, combine Damian Lillard with Steph Curry. I'm not saying he's going to reach the pinnacle of those players, who they are, but his game screams to me like a marriage between the two. Like, when you hear that, what is your reaction?
It's a little crazy to me, just to hear that from me personally. Those are 2 of the greats, you know what I'm saying? I got a long ways to go before I even get close to that, man. Honestly, I'm just thankful for the recognition, though.
Is there a player that you model your game after, or somebody that you would say would be your NBA comp?
I wouldn't say me personally, you obviously hear the ones Curry, Jamal, Murray, multiple guys, but I just try to take bits and pieces from different players' games.
I'm curious, the competitor in you, because we know you're a winner. We know what you're about. Your draft stock is rising. We'll get to that. Do you remember the 2 30-plus point games leading into the final, or do you remember the final more for you? Because the 0 points in the first half was a huge storyline, 11 for the game. That's coming off of 60-plus points. Which one do you think you remember more long-term?
Definitely the final more, man.
So the bad. You remember the bad more than the good?
For sure. I mean, you could call it bad. I think
well, for you it is. You're great.
Nah, I think the way we won that game was great, man. I think it just shows the team that we were the whole year. We had multiple guys step up on the big stage. Everybody contributed, so it was an overall team win.
So in the span of a couple weeks, you've gone from being projected as a second-round pick in the NBA draft to a first-round pick and very likely in the lottery. Like, how do you process all that's happened? Like, you're playing at the highest level of college basketball, yet your future and your career is just around the corner. Can you compartmentalize? Like, how do you keep it all in front of you while still being able to enjoy it all as it's happening?
Yeah, just trying to stay where I'm at. Just focusing on the present, focusing on the moment. Obviously, don't want to change anything that got me to this point. Want to just keep on moving forward. But yeah, taking a few days to celebrate with my guys and gonna focus on everything else later.
As we just sign off with you on this, the one thing that people need to know about Walter Clayton Jr. that they don't know about.
Off the court, just you could say to myself, just kind of in my own world, I guess. Just not outside a lot.
Well, congratulations. Unbelievable. You joined the 06-07 them Gator boys with Noah Horford Brewer. I mean, just an awesome team, and now you are a champion. And Florida is the best school, per you, of course.
Sir, Gator boys, stay hot.
Did you apologize to the Gator for kicking him out of your photo yet?
Me and Big Al have a great relationship.
Good.
He understands. He's family too, so we all good.